Hey, what's up, Dean? Safe Performance at the shop. Well, again, working on Frankie Samurai. You can see the rear end still all apart. Waiting on axles. We had to find a new machine shop to cut the axles because our buddy across the street decided he needed to pay bills with our job, and I don't do that. So we pretty much scrambled, found a guy, fairly reasonable. It's what he does all day. Not all day, but does it on the side, but it's supposed to be really good. So, meanwhile, we have ripped it apart. I don't remember where I left off. I didn't look. But got the grill out to try and fit the intercooler. That intercooler is a little too big. The ends over here come out, the coupler end comes out like way over here, so there's no way to get it in because the steering box is there. So he's got a new intercooler. We got intercooler piping. The rest of it is tore apart. He ended up getting a racing beat. I think you can see it right there. Racing beat, 12A, somewhat ported, 4150 style intake. Pretty local. They're pretty daggone expensive. So, excuse me. I started unbolting all the fuel system. Ended up taking the intake off all as one piece with the regulator and everything. So I got that over here. And what I noticed as soon as I took it off, so this is supposed to be, it is definitely a ported motor, which means that these are all intake ports. So these two center ones, you can see these are pretty close where the gasket was, and the gasket matches the block pretty good. Then you can see this is a coolant port in the block that was leaking. This is a coolant port that was leaking. This one's pretty close. These are nowhere near. This is where the gasket is, way up here. Like, you're talking almost a fingernail width on both ports, top and bottom. So, and you can see they did grind this one. You can see where the kind of dug in here, you know, kind of butcher ground it a little bit. I don't know if they were trying to use like a regular deburring tool and it just gummed up with the aluminum. That happens, but they definitely did not do a good job on this. Definitely was way down on power because of that. I don't understand rotaries, but I know the bigger the ports, the better it runs, the more power it makes. Kind of air and fuel on a gas motor. But so I took the gasket, we marked the intake surface and traced the gasket onto this intake. And then once I finished the first grinding of it to our line, I did it a lot actually. I came almost to the end of the port, as far in as I could go. I raised the wall and lowered the wall to make the port as big as possible. I have like I'll call it a boroscope, which is like a camera on a 3-foot long flexi tube. So we took that and we went down each runner after we bolted it on, and I damn near nailed it first shot. I wasn't overly concerned with taking it back off and doing a little bit more or trying to touch up the case. These cases, I don't know, they each have a port in them, so I wasn't concerned with that at all. There's very minimal. So we took the gasket, I sealed everything up. The coolant ports, this is what they had in there. And they basically took a tube of RTV and basically filled the port. All they did. And then used a metal washer on the outside, which doesn't do anything. They literally used like a bolt washer. You can see the indentation. It really doesn't do anything. It's not going to help seal it or nothing like that. So that's where his leaks were coming from. He did tighten it up at one point and it kind of stopped the leak. But so what I did was I have all these plugs from the banana leaves I made that I didn't end up using any of them. So I took one of them and I threw it in the lathe and just started chucking aluminum off of it. Made it fit in the port pretty good, and left like a flange on the outside, really like a paper thin, close to a paper thin flange on the outside. I took high temp RTV, went around the plug and shoved it in the motor, and it actually like squished in there really good. Then I took and I sealed all around every single one of those ports with the RTV, the gasket. We got that all. We also powder coated it here. Just a flat black, came out good. He also ran to a junkyard. This is a crank angle position, or crank angle sensor. They call it a CAS. And he was calling everybody anywhere, and more or less the answer he got was good luck with that. So I actually found a bunch of them on a website that I use, and he went and picked this up for 75 bucks. I looked up how you test it. It's basically ohms. You go, so this is normally a black wire, but it's white with a black stripe, and it's in the right position, so we'll call that the black wire. You go black to green, or black to white, and green to red. I can't remember which way you go, but there's a testing procedure, and it has to fall between a certain amount of ohms. I don't remember what it is, which it did. And then if you spin it, you see the ohms going up and down. So as far as I know, I am not a diagnostic person in that sense, but from what I see, it works. So that's good. We got that. And then he painted it nice black. I got him a Yes Sir LS oil pan bolt. That's one of the tiny bolts that goes in the very back of the pan. Normally on an LS, they're the real long ones in the very back two positions, I believe. So the pans that I use don't have those long ones. It's just a flange all the way around. So Yes Sir LS bolt in a rotary. Yeah. So we got the coils. We grabbed the harness. I started separating. The blues are all the injectors. I'm gonna pull out the coil wires, separate those. I'll separate the two power wires. I believe it's these two here, red and black. Believe these go direct battery. And then I don't remember, to be honest with you. I have to look. I have a schematic for a rotary for a FuelTech. So we got the FuelTech here. Up here we got the FuelTech FT450. He had a buddy cut out this board with the hole, so he brought that down. I made this bracket here. It's pretty rough, and then I gotta chop this little piece out right here to get the USB wire in. And then I had some carbon fiber wrap that I stuck on there. We're not quite done. We got to fix up the corners, throw some more staples, but of course having issues with the compressor, constantly wanting to shut off, whatever. I got the drive shaft flange, got the wheel spacers, got the axle U bolts. He's got the intercooler tubing. So, yeah. I think he's got the fuel system stuff. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he has everything for the fuel system, the pump, the lines. I know he's waiting on a Pro J throttle body that has the built-in injectors, or built into the throttle body. Not built into it, but they go into the throttle body. Snake Eater Performance, we sent out my very old set of Siemens 80-pound injectors. We sent them out last Friday, and I got the report Tuesday that they were shipped. Yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, or it was Tuesday night, I emailed them and asked them about the data, if they just send it back or if they can email it. Yesterday I got like an immediate response, first thing in the morning, their time, their Texas, and all the injectors flowed like really good. There was a bunch of stuck ones. The baskets were disgusting. He sent all the like microscopic pictures of the baskets, and I mean, they were disgusting. I kind of feel bad that I didn't try and clean them out a little bit before I sent them, but they absolutely nailed it. I got before and afters of the baskets, and they're like super clean now, so that's awesome. So those will be here, I believe, today or tomorrow. The injectors will be here. So yeah, we're doing good, cranking along. Hopefully these axles will get done either today or tomorrow, and I can get the rear end back in it. We can actually get something done. I mean, we're making a little bit of progress at a time, but it's really hard waiting on parts. Transmissions for the Sierra and the Trailblazer, questionable. He's supposedly working on them. And after a bunch of excuses, I still have no pictures of any kind of progress of them. So it makes me question whether or not he's actually working on them. So if anybody knows, other than like a Jake's Performance or something like that, anybody knows a local Florida transmission builder that is good at what he does, stands behind what he does at a fair price, not looking for free, not looking for deep discounts or nothing like that, but does it at a fair price. I think we're paying, I think it's like $27.50 or something like that for a 700 horse build, 4L80. So if anybody knows anybody that could compare with that, I mean, I'll pay a little bit more if he's local and if he's really good, but we'll see. But for now, that's it. Maybe I'll update the end of today. I'll post this one tonight, post the next one tomorrow, something like that. But that's it for now. Appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified, leave me a comment. Have a good day.